Good evening again, Facebook friends. It's Chris and Steve, the live and local crew for the Victoria Advocate here at the Fine Arts Center for 38 Special, starting tonight at 8 o'clock. The doors open at 6:30. Good seats are still available. And don't forget, we're giving away 4 pair of tickets for tonight's show. You just have to come in, come see us, and say the phrase that pays. I want to be rocking into the night with 38 Special and today's Advocate Advantage. We're thrilled to be joined right now by the music director of the Victoria Symphony, Darryl One. And Darryl, we know the 38 Special has their own special sound, but we also know the Victoria Symphony has a very special sound too.
Yes, it does. A lot of people don't seem to think of classical music as being some other odd creature, that sounds, maybe boring or slow or something like that. But the fact of the matter is that anything you listen to, including 38 Special, the rhythms and the chords, they've been used by composers through the centuries. So it's really derivative, if you want to call it that music kind of came out of that. So we're kind of like, what we present is sort of like the ancestors of modern day music now, except that, of course, we're all still living now. The classical music.
The ancestors of rock and roll, right?
Yeah, that's right. Except that we're all living and we're not dead. We're still doing the same thing, just like 38 Special will do now, and probably will continue on into the next generation. So
you have some special shows coming up, don't you?
Yes, we do. As a matter of fact, besides 38 Special this weekend, the orchestra is performing, and it's actually our season opener, which is kind of strange because it'll be November 4th, and it's pretty late for a season opener. Most orchestras open in September, and we would have done that except for, as we all know, here in Texas, Hurricane Harvey.
Our friend Harvey.
Yes, and so we had to postpone, and then we had to postpone getting into here in October. So we're actually 2 weeks later than when our second concert was going to happen. But that being said, we're here and we have our concert to perform, and this opening concert is a really interesting and fun one, I think, not only for me, but I think for other people who come to hear the concert, because we're doing a lot of pieces that are different, and the music is eclectic. We're starting out with a piece by an American composer named Douglas Moore, who lived about 1900 to 1970. So he's a fairly recent composer, and he wrote a piece that's based on P.T. Barnum, Barnum and Bailey Circus.
Sure.
And so it's called The Pageant of P.T. Barnum, and it's 5 movements, short movements that are like pictures of aspects of P.T. Barnum. So one is about his boyhood, grow up in Bethel, Connecticut. 3 of them are about some of his the acts that he had in the circus, like General Tom Thumb and his wife, the small midgets.
Sure.
And Jenny Lind, the famous soprano from Sweden, who he had on his tour. So all of the movements reflect a character or an aspect of his life, and it's very American in spirit. I heard one reviewer said the music reminded him of a musical Currier and Ives picture. So it's very American experience in sound, folk music, country fiddling, all kinds of fun things like that. So it's kind of a neat piece, and it's never been played here in Victoria. And as I was getting ready to program, find out that it's hardly been performed by orchestras all over.
Oh, wow. So we have it here Saturday night.
And we have it this Saturday night to start off with, followed by soloists from a competition called the Sphinx Competition, which is a competition for minority-based artists.
Okay.
So mostly Latino and African American. And so we're having a Mexican American violinist. Her name's Alexandra Swatala, and she'll be playing 2 pieces for us, one of which in many polls in Europe is the most popular piece for violin and orchestra ever written in their minds, by Ralph Vaughan Williams. It's called The Lark Ascending. It's a very beautiful pastoral English sounding piece, and based on a poem by George Meredith called The Lark Ascending. And it's kind of fun for our time, because the poem of The Lark Ascending is that the lark's voice speaks for all of mankind and unifies mankind. So, boy, do we need unity right now during our time right here, especially in America. So that'll finish off, and then at the very end we're doing one of the great ballets of all time by Igor Stravinsky. It's called Petrushka, and it's based on a Russian story of these 3 puppets, Petrushka, the Moor, and the ballerina, that are brought to life at a fair and live out a kind of story, and then are reanimated and then unanimated back into puppets again at the very end. And it's a fun story. The music is very, very descriptive, and especially of the action. So like when Petrushka is being chased, the music sounds like a chase, and when he's angry, it sounds angry, and when the ballerina dances, it sounds like a ballerina dancing.
Oh, wow.
So it's kind of like a musical Tom and Jerry cartoon, in a sense, except it's with Russian puppets.
Okay.
So it makes it kind of fun and interesting. And there is a story that goes along with it, and Stravinsky wrote a narrative for the ballet master so that he had something to follow with the story. So I took the narrative and I put it into 60 PowerPoint slides with pictures of the puppets and the characters and the action that will be shown simultaneously in the portions of the music when it happens.
Oh, wow.
So it isn't actually like a cartoon like you'd seen Tom and Jerry,
Right.
but you get to hear it, and you can read and say, this is the point where Petrushka's very jealous and he's being chased by the Moor, and you hear the music and go, oh yeah, that makes perfect sense.
Wow.
So we have it's not just the music, but we have this to kind of help with the overall experience. So it isn't just music and guessing what's going on, but you actually know what the story is in real time as it goes on. So
How about that? Now, tonight, you could talk to Darryl because you're going to be one of the official greeters. Is that correct?
I am. I'm going to be out in official greeters for a 38 special, Southern rock and roll. And a lot of people don't know this, but I had my start as a rock and roll musician.
Did you really?
Yes, I played drums, and I played first in a garage band. I think a lot of people know what that is.
Right.
And then after the garage band, then I joined a little band when I was in college, and we did little parties and weddings and stuff like that, and a lot of fun, music, like 80s rock and that kind of
sure.
thing. And
Well, tonight's right up your alley then.
yeah,
right?
I started off with that. That was even before I got interested in conducting.
Yeah.
So I graduated from the drums and rock and roll to what they say is like, well, I was a drummer with 2 sticks, so I threw 1 stick away, and now I'm a conductor.
Wow. Well, Maestro, we really appreciate you joining us on set tonight, and we hope you'll come out and meet Darryl and come out and enjoy 38 Special. Again, the doors open at 6:30. Good seats are still available. We hope you'll come out and use this as the tailgate party for the Houston Astros Game 7. That's what we're saying.
Ah, right.
Because
right.
all the runs have been scored after 10 p.m.
Right.
So
right.
you could come out, enjoy the concert, get charged up, go home, get in your comfy clothes, your comfy couch,
Right. Watch the Astros win.
There you go.
Right.
All right.
And then on Saturday, come to hear our concert here in the Fine Arts Center.
There you go. We thank you again for joining us, for Chris and Steve and the Maestro. Come on out and experience today's Advocate Advantage.
There we go. Go Astros.